first for the Vikings. Jalen Smith. That is a play to remember. Oh, what a tackle by Jalen Smith.
Welcome to the Frisco Report, guys. We're back with another episode. Dallas Cowboys facing the Minnesota Vikings at home, but I can't do it by myself. I got my main man, Joe, from Cowboys Blog on. Say what's up, Joe.
What's up? What's up?
Cowboys, you know, there's a lot of gossip and chatter and saying the Cowboys can't beat a real team, Joe. The test will be Sunday night against the Minnesota Vikings. Can the Cowboys beat a real team? Are Cowboys pretenders or contenders, Joe?
Right now at 5-3, it's a good record. You know, you're still in you control your destiny. First place NFC East. So right now you got to say they're contenders. You know, but we've seen what the Cowboys do under Jason Garrett. So you know it's a week by week deal with the Jason Garrett run team. But you're right, man. The Minnesota Vikings. It's gonna be a big test.
It is. Minnesota's offense, you know, they got Kirk Cousins there. We know Kirk Cousins very well, being a former Washington Redskin. We know under pressure that Kirk Cousins can and will fold under pressure. They got to take the script they used against Daniel Jones with the addition of Michael Bennett, who did get a sack against the New York Giants. But the Minnesota Vikings obviously got a better offensive line than the New York Giants do. So it's going to be a good test for defense. It's going to be a real good test on offense. So Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, the Cowboys, how do they stop or limit that offense?
It's all gonna happen up front. You know, it is. You know, you always hear the cliche. It's won in the trenches. That's what's gonna happen. So whoever comes out of this game with more pressure on the quarterback and stopping the run will win this game. All right. So Kirk Cousins, he sucks. He's not a good quarterback. So if you can get in his face, like you said, you put pressure on him, he'll turn it over. So they'll have their opportunities. You know what I mean? They'll have their opportunities, but the Cowboys got to come with it. You know, they can't come out and be like, you know, we won 2 in a row. Let's take it easy on this game here. Like, I hate that crap, and they do that. The Cowboys do that stuff. So they better come out here and with some energy and whoop some ass.
Absolutely. Cheeto Bay, Awuzie is always getting burnt. I would imagine the Vikings put Stephon Diggs on his side. And how do you think, if that happens, how do you think Cheeto's going to react to that kind of pressure, knowing that Stephon Diggs is who he's guarding?
Man, it's weird, man. It's almost like he's having a junior slump, right? It's his third year. He looked good as his freshman and sophomore campaign. This third year, you know, they're seeing something in his game that they're going after. So he's gonna have to really step it up. Stephon Diggs is one of the better route runners in the game. I put him up there with Julio and Amari. I think those are your top 3 route runners. You know, so let's see what he does.
Absolutely. So that's the offense for the Minnesota Vikings. Nice breakdown there. Let's talk about the offense of the Dallas Cowboys. Who has to have a better game, Zeke or Dak, in this one?
I think it's gonna have to be Dak, because if I remember correctly, in the first game, there was a lot of dirty runs. You know, I think it was their rookie year they played the Vikings.
Special teams won that play, matter of fact.
Yeah, so we saw a lot of
the muff punt or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of dirty runs, you know, and you know, they just have to grind it out, and the defense hasn't changed that much. So, you know, it's going to come down to mistakes. I think whoever makes mistakes loses this game.
Absolutely. No, I put up my pregame video and I said, Dak Prescott in this offense has to be zero turnovers. You cannot throw mistakes. If you do, let's say Kirk Cousins, you know, we give them the ball on our 20-yard line. they're going to score. They're not the New York Giants where you go in there 4 times and not score and only put up 4 field goals. They got a running back, Dalvin Cook. He is pretty dangerous. He knows how to run the rock. He's a physical runner. So, yes, I'm with you on that. 0 turnovers, 0 mistakes, and stop with the penalties.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The offensive penalties, it's killing some of the drives. And, Cowboys still having difficulty, with the games. It's, obviously the week before they got some turnovers in short fields, but this last game, it took them another half to wake up. They got to fix that because you can't bring that into the playoffs. You can't do it.
Let's talk about that Monday night game real quick. Do you blame the first half on bye week blues, Joe?
Yeah, bye week blues. That's a real thing. You're coming off the bye week. You're a little bit rusty, probably. Are you really in football condition? Because as quick as you do your conditioning, it can go just as quick. So, I think there was a little bit of that. Some jitters. I'm sure there was some of that coming back off of that, but they did what they needed to do, and that's what they're going to have to do the rest of the season. If that's what the Cowboys are this year, that's what they are. If they're a slow starter team, then we know that they're going to have to be a second half team, and if they don't do it in the second half, we won't win games. So that looks like what the Cowboys are. They're a slow starting team in the first half.
On offense, not on defense, right?
Yeah, on offense. They don't turn it on until they get to the second half. Which, that does put a lot of pressure on your defense, though. So it's like defense is doing their thing. And to me, I feel like the defense might be coming into their own right now. You're getting pressure. They added Bennett. Xavier Woods has been quiet the last, couple of games, but now,
back-to-back picks.
Jordan Lewis starting over Brown. Thank God. He needs to stay there. I do not want to see Brown come on if he's back healthy. So I don't want to see that.
You know what's pretty interesting about that? There was reports that the Cowboys offered a first and Anthony Brown in return for Jamal Adams. So the Cowboys were shopping Anthony Brown.
Yeah, I saw all kinds of stupid rumors. There was that one, and the most outrageous one was a first and Zach Martin. I'm like, dude, you're not trading Zach for this guy.
And then they said no to that one, and they said, okay, give me a first and Tyron Smith. Jets weren't serious. Let's just be real. They weren't serious at all.
They weren't serious, but I think they did damage the relationship with Jamal Adams. So maybe he'll be available during the draft or in the offseason. We'll see. That might be a storyline to keep an eye on.
Yeah, but if there's no free safety there or a defensive tackle, a 3 technique that can change the game, I'm for it. But if you got a defensive tackle and a safety that you can go get, that's going to help your football team day one. Don't do it. That's just me. But that's draft talk for a whole nother day, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and go on the defense side of the ball. Minnesota Vikings defense really hasn't changed much since 2016. It's still the same system. They got physical linebackers over there. They got a pretty stout D-line. And they got a safety. They're about with us at safety. I wouldn't say they're better than us at the safety position. That's free safety and strong safety. But how do you feel about that defense and our defense? What's Minnesota Vikings perks and soda sense for the guys listening?
Anybody that has played defense for Zimmer will tell you that they're gonna play hard for him. Even Darren Woodson was out there, talking up the troops there only because he loves Coach Zimmer so much. So they play hard for him. I put him up there with like a Wade Phillips. Like these are really good, defensive minds, the best in the league. So it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a really tough game. I don't see this being a blowout or anything like that. This is gonna come down probably to your fourth quarter final possession type of crap.
No, and it could boil down to what it was in 2016.
Yeah,
a special team there, which Cowboys special teams. Speaking of this Monday night game that we just played, Cowboys special teams let Lattimore run like he was Deion Sanders, like he was Hester back there. and Maher was not getting it out of the end zone. I think every kickoff was either 2 yards in the end zone or just shy of the goal line or on like the 5. Brett Maher, I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame for kicking 60-yard field goals like he does, and he just can't get a touchback now. Special teams is an issue, and it's been an issue since Dwayne Harris left. What do you think about the special teams, Joe?
Yeah, special teams has not been good for forever, dude. Like it's been bad forever. I mean, even when Parcells was here, he was changing out coordinators there, and it's just it's haunted us for a long time. Like I mean, really, we haven't had a good one since Alvazano.
Yeah, that's old school right there.
Decades ago, man. Like I don't know what it is about special teams, but it hasn't been that good. Even with Dwayne Harris, that guy was always bumbling and fumbling the ball. I didn't really like him. So, but they've tried everything, man. But they do give up a lot of yards, and we don't get enough. But I think Pollard. I think if he can get some good blocking, has the most potential to score because. Yeah, he's really shifty. I like how he runs.
Yeah, he's a very physical runner for sure. People really underestimated his physicality, when they're putting draft grades together. I think Tony Pollard should have been at least a high second-round pick.
Yeah, he was a steal there in the 4th round. You know what I mean?
Exactly, a very good steal. Probably one of our best draft picks this year. Because I can't even look at Donovan Wilson, but I don't know what. Look, okay, so that pretty much covers the Vikings in a sense. We know that it's going to be a close game. We know what the Minnesota Vikings defense is. It looks like our defense is turning on. I want to talk about Coach Garrett, Joe, and after losing 0-3, one of them, the biggest elephant in the room is losing to the Jets. Right, that game should have been won. But do you think Garrett got this team together and they're actually buying in after this 3-game losing streak?
It's the same storyline every year. It's have they bought in? Has he lost the team? Have they bought in? Are they going to go on and run? For me, it's are you going to walk the walk or are you going to talk the talk? You know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of thing. For me, back it up and go deep in the playoffs. I'm because it's the same thing every year with this team. It's like, you start out sloppy, you do this and that, you look real crappy, then you string together a couple of wins, and it's the same story. So I want the story to be different this year. I want us to finish strong, beat the crap out of people, and get to the Super Bowl and backslap whoever's in there across from us.
No, yeah, I agree. And I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, but it's funny to me how Tony Romo calls out the offense. This has Jason Garrett's fingerprints in it, and that was our 3rd game that we lost.
Yeah,
and then we come out and we start winning ball games again. It's like, okay, Garrett said, "Oh, well, Romo called me out. It's time to let Kellen Moore handle this stuff."
I really feel like something like that happened. Like. Romo is so good at analyzing defenses and offenses and how familiar the plays are. I mean, he knows his team like the back of his hand. So,
yep,
I truly do believe that.
Too.
Yeah, yeah, man. I truly do believe that has something happened right there.
And there was a clip that kind of went crazy on Twitter with Malik Collins and them not slapping his hand and. After a crucial stop. And it seemed like Garrett was losing the locker room, losing the team. But apparently, maybe I do start believing that they block all that noise out from the outside and just focus what's in-house. But Dak did say today that he's a lot better than his rookie year, and I would agree to that statement.
Yeah, I agree to that too, man. So the Vikings are going to be facing a better – I mean, we didn't have Amari Cooper. I mean, this team is better. Their defense, I would say, is the same, but they're a little bit older now. but so is our offensive line. So I almost feel like those lines might cancel each other out. That's why I think it's going to come down to who makes mistakes, who turns the ball over. It's just going to come down to the smallest thing, man. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I think you're right too. But let's go back to this Monday night game. I know I'm everywhere right now, but we got this. You guys are listening to this amazing podcast, and
Yes.
let's go. Let's talk Sean Lee. Let's talk about Sean Lee.
The general.
The general, baby, the best in the game. At one point in time in the National Football League, Sean Lee led all linebackers in interceptions for multiple years in a row. Sean Lee being limited, I don't think he's that effective. But you give him about 20 plays plus, you start seeing the flashes of vintage Lee. And I don't think, Joe, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, I don't think he lost a step. Honestly, I think he may have 3 or 4 years, depending on health, to play in the National Football League. What do you think?
I mean, the reality is, he does get injured fairly easily. That's well documented. But props to the general. Last 2 games, he's really taken that position by the horns, man. With Van Der Esch being out and the Wolf Hunter, the general's back. I mean, Wolf Hunter versus the vintage General Lee. That's a hell of a matchup there. I mean, he was all over the place the last 2 games. I love it. It's very exciting to see that version of Sean Lee. And yeah, I think a lot of that early part of the season where he was just being a backup Sam linebacker has helped him here in the last 2 games. Fresh, moving all over the place, making tackles, in the backfield, and he's all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, he is. I love 5-0. I love 5-0 a lot. Let's talk about 27. I know we just touched on the hair, but we talked about Xavier Woods, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And yes, sir.
I want to talk about Jordan Lewis though, because Jordan Lewis is a backup, obviously, but when he's in games, I mean the guy balls out, and I don't know why we didn't have him in the game earlier in the season, because it seems like Jalen Smith is actually sacking people because Jordan Lewis is out there covering, or Jordan Lewis is blitzing and getting home. It seems like there's more blitzing now that Jordan Lewis is in the lineup. Are my eyes deceiving me, Joe, or is that something that Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard are putting together?
I just feel that this team, as stubborn as they are, they liked Anthony Brown more than Lewis, and it took an injury for him to get on the field, which is sad, very, very sad. It's not good for the coaches. Like, why have you stashed this star all this time only because he doesn't fit this particular measurement? Like, slap yourself in the back of the head, man. Like, it makes me so mad, dude. Like, why are you wasting that talent? Okay, now you see him every time he's on the field, he's doing something, making plays. Like, stop with the stupid stuff where you're putting him on the bench and having Anthony Brown's nothing, man. He's not gonna do these plays for you. He's been here for a while. He has a couple of plays here and there, but Jordan Lewis before he was accused of whatever the hell he did in Michigan, he was rated a first-round talent, and they got him in the 3rd round. Like, he's better. He's better than Cheeto.
Oh, by far.
Teams had him rated higher than Cheeto, but the off-field crap, kicked him to the 3rd round, and he got drafted after Cheeto. But he's clearly a better cornerback. He's physical. He's looking to he's got swagger. He's looking to get the ball. I mean, he's looking to punch it out. I mean, he's a complete corner for me. I love Jordan Lewis.
Yep, the off-the-field issues, if I remember correctly, was domestic violence that he was found not guilty on. Right. And during that summer, he got it all cleared up and stuff. He did miss time his rookie year in training camp getting all that court stuff cleaned up there in Michigan. But he was found not guilty on it. And, sometimes that stuff happens. I mean, ask Jeremy Tunzel. He's the main victim of that kind of stuff.
Larry
But
Tunsil, Lyle Collins, we got him on a steal because he was
oh
supposedly
my gosh,
accused
yes.
of some crazy murder. Like that was a steal of steals, baby.
Yeah, steals of steals. Yeah, you correct me when I'm wrong, and that's what you do, Joe. The Lyle Collins thing was pretty messed up. I forgot about that.
No, but
Thank you
the
for refreshing my memory.
the Tunsil one was a good one too, man. Because they got people got on him because of a picture on Instagram with the gas mask. He's a legit left tackle. I like
Right.
him. I think the Texans got a pretty good trade, when they got him.
Yep.
So that's a good point, Mike. Definitely.
But we got to talk about the goat of goats, Mr. 8 catches. It seems like the tight ends are just giant killers. Blake Jarwin, Jason Witten, but let's focus on Jason Witten real quick.
Yeah.
8 catches.
Mhm.
What did he have? Like 80-something yards, something like that. I mean, old man Witt is still being Witten. I mean, he might have lost a step, but he's still effective. How is that even possible?
It's just him. He's an old school. He's a throwback player. He's a Parcells guy, and
Yep.
I really think that he's taken what Parcells, inserted into him. Toughness. Playing through a broken jaw with wires in your mouth, playing through broken nose, the spleen. I mean, this guy is one of the toughest football players that has ever
SOBs
played.
in the game. Yep.
Yeah, man. So he is. He still has it, and it's good to sprinkle in some Jarwin in there because he's faster. But yeah, man, Witten's a Giants killer. He's always been that, and it was nice seeing him tear them up, man.
It was nice to see Witten out there, doing his thing. But let's play a little game I like to play, Joe, called Over and Under.
All right.
Cowboys, over or under 15 points?
I'm gonna say over. Over 15 points.
Over 15.
Yeah, I think it'll be in the 20s, and I'll cap it right there. I think it'll be in the 20s.
Ezekiel Elliott, over or under 100 yards?
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say he's probably gonna be. It's gonna be a repeat of that first game. I'm gonna say under 100 yards. I'm maybe 79, 89 yards, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Who gets more touchdowns? Amari Cooper or Michael Gallup?
More touchdowns. That's a good one. I'm gonna go with Cooper.
Amari Cooper gets the touchdowns. Okay. I like that. Let's see. Jalen Smith, over or under 3 sacks?
I'm gonna say under for sure.
Under. Okay. How about Michael Bennett, over or under 2 sacks?
I'm gonna say under.
Under 2. Okay. Give me one of your star players on offense for the Cowboys, and give me one star player on defense for the Cowboys against these Minnesota Vikings. What one player on each side has to step up and be a game changer? Go.
Yeah, on offense, I'm gonna have to go with Prescott. He's got I think he may have to win this. If they're gonna shut down the run, which I think Zeke will have a hard time running the ball, it's gonna lay on the arm of Dak Prescott and the offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. He's got to get this team to move the ball. So to me, on offense, look for Dak Prescott. It'll be a better version of his 2016 self. So that'll be a good one there to watch. On defense, I'm looking at Robert Quinn. To continue to be a menace.
That's a good one.
And if you can get with Kirk Cousins, he hears footsteps, and Robert Quinn is the perfect guy to really rattle this guy because he comes around the edge, man. He just comes flying off the edge, and he's gonna hear those footsteps, and hopefully he'll throw an errant pass. We can get a turnover, something like that.
Nice. My player on offense is Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke has to establish the physicality on those players. They hit Zeke has to hit him harder. We got to be physical. We got to wear those guys down.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes late in the third quarter, Joe, when it comes to the fourth quarter, those guys are gassed.
Yes.
Zeke has to lay the punishment on that Vikings defense. Speaking of defense, on defense, my guy is Tank Money Lawrence. Tank was disruptive against the New York Giants on Monday Night Football, and I want to see consistency out of our $100 million man. This guy was leaping over people, putting extra effort to stop Saquon Barkley, who they held to like 36 yards, by the way, like 14 carries. Fantastic. We got to do that against Cook, their running back. We got to stop him, and it starts with the hits of Tank Lawrence. So you got the Cobra, and you got Dak, I got Zeke, and I got the Tank.
There we go. There we go, man. This could be a good game.
All four of those guys go out there and be star players? How about that?
If that happens, we won the game, man. So
game.
I'm all for it.
You got anything else to add, Joe?
No, that's it, man. It's week to week. Let's get this game, man, here, and let's get 3 wins in a row. Let's go to 6-3.
It's very important that this team gets 3 wins in a row, and a good team can catch momentum to be a great team. A great team could be anybody in their path. Right now, we're just a good team. We got to become great, and it starts against the Minnesota Vikings. The mindset is playoff mentality. Between now and when we get in the playoffs, it's still playoff mentality, Joe.
Well said. Well said. Let's do that. Let's get it done, baby. Let's get this win.
Let's do it. Let's do it. But, hey, guys, let them know where they can find you at, Joe.
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube at Cowboys Blog. You can also hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, Cowboys Blog, CowboysBlog.net. And I'll hit you up back, man. Just give me a follow, shoot me a DM, and we can talk some football.
And if you ain't following the man, what's wrong with you? You can find me on Dallas Cowboy Football News on YouTube, Dallas Cowboy Football News on Facebook, DCF News 1 on Twitter. Let's talk X's and O's. You know how it goes. That's it with the Frisco Report, guys. We're signing out. Until next week, guys. Peace.
Peace.